Welcome, everybody. This is Nick Federoff on Gardening, America's most listened to radio gardening show. Thank you very much for tuning into this hour of the program. Again, we're talking gardening, landscaping, helping you out with all of your indoor and outdoor living ideas. And I don't know if you remember or not, but not too long ago, I told you about I went to a trade show that you weren't invited to go to, and it was in Kentucky. And while I was walking down the hallowed halls of this trade show, there was this one particular booth that was there that just kept on calling my name, and I just got gravitated to it, and it was so exciting because it was a booth that just conjured up a bunch of memories of mine, and it really supported the fact that I'm right. And what I mean by that is that if you ever remember me talking about if I got back into the quote-unquote business of landscaping and gardening, that there's a couple of tools in particular that I would have in my arsenal. There's absolutely no way that I would not do this. And I've got Howard Kaplan on the thingsgreen.com hotline with us. He is the Director of Marketing Services over at Schiller Grounds Care. And how you doing today, Howard?
Good, Nick. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much. Hey, I got to ask you, a lot of people, they may not exactly know the name Schiller Ground Care, but you guys have a rich history in the world of gardening, don't you?
Yep, we do. We go back close to 80 years with one of our brands.
Wow.
Yep.
That's really exciting. And that particular brand happens to be?
Well, that brand is Little Wonder.
Little Wonder. Yeah. There you go.
And Little Wonder brand is known for its walk-behind blowers and hedge trimmers and commercial landscaper products. One of the other older brands is Mantis. Mantis has been around for almost 30 years.
30 years already. Wow. I'll tell you this much. When I was in the business and I started 30 years ago, I wish I had the brains to get my mud hooks on a Mantis Tiller, because it makes life so much easier, doesn't it?
Yep. It's a tool that packs a lot of punch, and it gives you, the gardener, the ability to do many different jobs a lot easier than doing them by hand.
Oh, indeed. And I really like the idea that the tillers are so maneuverable. They're small. Storage is just such a breeze.
Yeah, you can hang it up. The handles fold down. The Mantis Tiller is known for its 20-pound weight and 9-inch tine width. Allows you to dig down 10 inches. All in a tool that's really easy to handle for men and women of virtually any age.
And I also like the idea that when you've got this tiller action going on, it doesn't turn up big clumps of dirt to where you have to break them down again.
Right.
It's kind of pulverizes it, doesn't it?
It does that exactly. The tines, which happen to be our patent and our design on the tines, are kind of unique. It allows you to do a great job of tilling and pulverizing the soil, as you say, without having a lot of weight. So it's the design of the tine that really is the key to the success of using a lightweight tiller but packing the punch of something a lot heavier and bigger.
Now, speaking of heavier and bigger, what are the widths that these come in?
Well, the tiller historically has been 9 inches. This year we did come out with one slightly bigger, the XP, and it's 16 inches wide, and it has a little bit of a stronger motor on there. It's a great tool for, I guess, a home gardener or a commercial guy that has an area that they want to till up in the spring or when they put their garden to bed in the fall, and it gives you a little more width than just the 9 inches.
I have been talking to my audience here over the last few weeks about small engines and how important they are and what to do with them and whatnot. Your engines that you guys use, are they pretty much two-stroke engines, or are they four-stroke engines, and what's that all about?
Well, we have both. We have two-cycle or two-stroke. We have four-stroke, and we have electric.
Oh, electric too.
Mantis Tiller as well, right?
Wow.
So they're all similar in weight and power, and we try to just have options for a gardener's convenience. So, for example, the two-cycle engine is a true commercial-grade engine, and for folks that are used to mixing oil and gas, if they have weed whackers or blowers that they mix that, then it's a great engine, and it'll last quite a number of years. And then we have four-stroke for some folks that don't want to be bothered mixing oil and gas. We have that available, and then we also have the electric. Some folks don't want to play with gas at all, or they're just, their garden's close enough to the house, within 100 feet. They just plug it in, and the electric tiller has the same amount of power as its gas-powered sisters. So.
Wow. The technology is fascinating, how they're able to do things like that. Bring them all together and still have that I don't know if it's compatibility, but that the idea that you can have the same kind of torque, the same kind of power, and the end result is going to be the same.
Yep. We looked at that, and we didn't want one to be more powerful or less powerful than the other. So, like I said, as far as power, they're all similar, and the key's in the tines and the transmission, and the power source is similar in size.
Now, what about maintenance on these guys?
Well, there's minor maintenance. It's just like anything else. You have to take care of it. If you're not using your either one of your gas products, you should empty the fuel out if you're not using it after a month. And if you're storing it for the winter, once a year, maybe you check the grease in the transmission. But it's very simple and very easy to maintain. There's not a lot of different parts to worry about. You check the air filter, things like that.
If people wanted more information on the Mantis Tillers, on the Little Wonder line of products, I know we can open up just about any magazine. You've got
Yep.
your name and number everywhere, but people right now aren't reading their magazines. Where should they go?
Best place, Mantis.com.
Mantis.com. I
Yep,
sure like that.
Easy to remember.
Well, I have to do this much, and I'm going to do it officially on the program. I want to thank Schiller Ground Care for being a supporter of the nonprofit organization we support, Sustainable Environmental Education. And if you've heard me talk about the small engine repair classes, we are actually using your engines as part of our curriculum. So I want to thank you very much for your support to Sustainable Environmental Education. It's really kind of you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure, supplying those and helping out. It was a good cause.
Well, I'll tell you, I sure look forward to seeing more people using the Mantis products in their yard and garden, because it's going to make life so much easier. Your soil is going to be airy. It's going to be fluffy. Your vegetables are going to be able to grow much better, stronger, as well as your flowers. They could almost be as if they're going to like double in size, because it all begins in the soil, and Mantis allows you to make it come to fruition. So, Howard, thank you very much for being on today's program.
Oh, thanks for having me, Nick.
Indeed. Well, that's the voice of Howard Kaplan. He's the marketing director, our director of marketing services over at Schiller Ground Care. And again, if you want more information, all you got to do is go online. And you go online to www.mantis.com.